and welcome to Kimberly and Knit for Brains. I've been looking for some inspiration for my next scarf, my next piece of work, and I thought, the California Carlsbad Flower Garden, the flower fields are in bloom. I was like, what a great place. So I'm going to go through my stash and I'm going to find some colors that remind me of these gorgeous flower fields. Isn't that amazing? So stay tuned, enjoy, as we tour the Carlsbad Flower Fields. So a little history of the flower fields at Carlsbad Ranch. The flower fields today are actually a direct result of nearly 85 years of floral cultivation, which began with Luther Gage, an early settler and a horticulturist who settled in the area back in the early 1920s. Mr. Gage brought ranunculus seeds to the area and he began growing them in the field next to Frank Frazee's small vegetable farm in Oceanside. In 1933, Frank Frazee also started growing ranunculus and introduced his son Edwin to the art of seeding, cultivating, and irrigating the pretty, but not yet popular flower. Now, the ranunculus that we see today is actually a native to Asia Minor, and it's a member of the buttercup family. Originally, the flowers were a single petal contact, and they ranged in shades from red all the way through to yellow. But the beautiful colors and the fullness of the flowers that we see today are due to the careful selection done by the Frazee family over many years. Unfortunately, if you're not local and you can't see these beautiful flowers in person, you can check out the flower fields and even purchase some of the bulbs at easytogrowbulbs.com. If you want to learn more about these gorgeous flower fields, check out their website at theflowerfields.com. So now I went through my stash at home, and these are the colors that I came up with that I think represent what we saw today in the flower fields. The first one is by Earth Yarns, and it's called Good Day Sunshine. It is a DK weight 100% extra fine superwash merino. It has 300 yards, so it would almost be enough as my contrast yarn. The next one I found is by a company called Knit Logic. This one is called Citrus Squeeze. Now this is actually a cozy sock yarn, 75% super merino wash wool, 15% nylon, and 10% cashmere. It is a fingerling weight, and it does have 439 yards. So you'll see with the two yarns that I've already chosen to be the main color, this could be a good contrast. The last color that I found is called Heritage, and it's by Cascade Yarns, and the color is called Fuchsia. This is also a sock weight yarn, and it has 437 yards, which would be enough to use as my contrast stitch for my two colors, which I'm going to show you here in just a second. These two colors here I'm really excited about. I think these really represent the colors that we saw in the flower fields. This is by a company called Craftly Dyed Yarn. I found them on Instagram. This is a classic sock yarn. It's 50 grams, 75% superwash merino, and 25% nylon. It's 231 yards, so the fact that I have two skeins of this means that I would have 462 yards, which would match with one of my bigger skeins. It's not all the time that I find I have two of the same color, so I'm really excited about that. And this one is called Nova. So now I have to decide what my contrast color is going to be. Let me show you what the pattern is going to look like. Do I want to use the Knit Logic, which is the sock yarn, cozy sock yarn? I'm a little concerned that the color gradient would not be as much of a contrast as I move through the yarn. We'll have to see about that. My next choice is going to be the Cascade Heritage, which is called Fuchsia. And my third choice would be the Earth Good Day Sunshine. So this is the pattern I'm going to use. It's a ripple pattern. So the contrast color in between is where I'm going to use the Nova. And then the border color, which is going to be that single crochet, is where I'm going to use either the Fuchsia, the Good Day Sunshine, or the Citrus Squeeze. So I want to make sure that I have a lot of good definition in between the rows. So now the choice is this. Do I choose the Fuchsia as a contrast between the two Novas as my colorway? Do I choose the Citrus Squeeze, which is also a good contrast with this yellow, but it might be a little bit more blendy in some of the areas where the colors are similar? Or do I choose Good Day Sunshine, which has a lot of those really bright yellows? My only concern about this is it is a DK weight, which is a little bit heavier than the sock yarn that I'm using in the Nova. But if you look at the two strands together, they're pretty similar. The yellow might act as more of a bounce or more of a definition with the other two skeins. So this might actually work to my favor. So now the choice is up to you. Do I go with the Good Day Sunshine with the Nova? Do I go with the Fuchsia by Cascade Heritage, or would that make it a little too cool? Or do I go with the Citrus Squeeze? The choice is yours. Comment below. Let me know what you think I should choose. Good Day Sunshine, the Fuchsia by Heritage by Cascade, or the Squeeze, the Citrus Squeeze by Knit Logic. Comment below. Let me know what colors you think I should choose to go with the Nova that we chose.